Alright, what's up guys? Brand new deck profile today. I decided to make Blue Eyes, but I wanted to make like a more fusion-based version. Again, Master Rule 5 just came out, so you can fusion summon as many monsters essentially as you want to. You don't have to play Links anymore if you don't want to. So I'm very excited about that. I made an all-new Blue Eyes build with it. It's a very pure. It's like 99% pure Blue Eyes. It's yeah, like I said, very pure deck. But I want to give it a try. If you want like a really aggressively competitive XYZ heavy version of the deck, I have it on my channel, but this is a more pure version, and I definitely wanted to give it a try. But we start off with 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon. Play your favorite artworks, or you know, you could, like I said, play whatever artworks you want to. These are my personal favorites: original, anniversary, and in the middle we've got there in front of the tombstone. It's the one from the deck, or you can play the one from the game. So we play 3 of the original Blue Eyes. We play 3 alternative White Dragons. Again, very good in the deck. Especially in Pure, you got to play 3. 1 Spirit. I've seen people play as many as 2, and yeah, as many even as 3, and I would never play 3. I think I like 1 because it gets around floodgates, but I think 1 is just the perfect amount where you never want to see him in your hand. So we're playing 1 copy of Chaos Dragon Levianeer. This is another card that's searchable off of Melody of Awakening Dragon. Every card I showed you except, well, Spirit's not, but the others have been searchable with Melody of Awakening Dragon, so I like to play him. Because 3 light monsters, basically, and you get to special summon him and bring a monster back. Next, we play 3 copies of Lord of D. I've actually brought this card back, and I think in the fusion-based version of the deck, he's very good. He gives you, on unsummon, he searches because you can discard a spell, and he searches things like Melody of Awakening Dragon, and I'll pull out the other card, and Dragon Revival Rhapsody. Dragon Revival Rhapsody, and the reason I started playing him again and Dragon Revival Rhapsody again is because Dragon Revival Rhapsody is actually a significantly more consistent card because of Relinquish Anima. This is a Link 1 that puts a spellcaster on the field, and then Dragon Revival Rhapsody becomes a lot more consistent. But basically, he searches Dragon Revival Rhapsody, among other things, along with Melody. All you have to do is discard a spell or trap, and then you can search it. And another cool combo is this guy plus Ultimate Creature of Destruction is like a super cool combo, because you can summon him on normal summon, discard a spell trap card for cost to search. So you discard Ultimate Creature Destruction, you get the Dragon Revival Rhapsody, activate Dragon Revival Rhapsody, special summon Blue Eyes from your graveyard, and then you get to set this card back for free. So it's like you never paid a cost at all, you actually went +1. So it's really, he's really cool with that card. But yeah, we play 3 copies of him. We play 2 copies of King of the Swamp. I think that is really like 3 Polymerization and 2 King of the Swamp is just perfect for this deck. Because he's a lot better than the Predaplan engine, because Predaplan engine takes up so much space. I like this a lot better because it's an easy way to get to regular Polymerization, and on top of that, it can substitute as fusion material, which is also pretty cool because you have most of your fusions say specific things, like it'll say 3 Blue Eyes, like Blue Eyes, White Dragon. You could just substitute that, which is pretty cool. Then we play 3 copies of the White Stone of Ancients. So obviously, this is one of your main ways to summon. 2 copies of White Stone of Legend. You play more than just the one. The reason you play more than just the one is because you search it with you actually want to search Blue Eyes and add them to your hand because you want to, you know, fuse them away. Then we play a Sage with Eyes of Blue. This is you don't have a lot of normal sims in the deck, and this card's actually a pretty decent combo with the King of D, because you summon King of D, search with him, and then you just get rid of King of D and then special summon from your deck. So that's pretty good for that. Okay, so those are all of the monsters. We'll now start doing spells. We play 3 copies of Return of the Dragon Lords. Basically, this is like Monster Reborn with protection for Blue Eyes. Then we play 1 regular Monster Reborn. And then we play 2 copies of Dragon Revival Rhapsody. Again, it's searchable, and this card is actually more consistent than it's ever been with the Relinquish card. It's very good. Very good. And then if you have that already in your hand, then you search this, which is Melody. Lets you add, like I said before, a number of cards that are very beneficial to the deck. We also play 3 copies of regular polymerization. We not only play 3 copies of polymerization, and we also play the King of the Swamps, but in addition to that, we have a new card from Dual Overload called Predaplan Verde Anaconda, which lets you just send polymerization to the graveyard and then basically fusion summon as if you had it in your hand. So that's even another way to get to one of your bigger monsters. We play 1 Super Poly because we can use it with the Verde Anaconda, and then 1 Dragon's Mirror. You never want to play too many Dragon's Mirror, because if you play too many, sometimes you draw them at very uncomfortable moments and they're useless. But with the new Master Rule, it's actually an extremely good card, because even if you have just 2 Blue Eyes in grave, you can just go into an extra like Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon or something like that. It can help you get over more frustrating things. Then we played 3 copies of Trade-In, because it's an awesome card and, you know, one of the better draw cards in your deck. 2 copies of Consonants, because we do play a lot of stones, so we can afford to. 1 Dragon Shrine, you can replace it with Foolish Burial if you need to. 1 for 1. 3 copies of Ultimate Creature of Destruction, because it gives you an unbelievable amount of protection, makes Blue Eyes basically unaffected. And like I said, the card is like a +1 if you combo it with the Lord of D. But yeah, overall, I think this is a really good card. Just because it returns itself to the field, it's reusable, it's good for various reasons. And then 1 Skill Drain, because it's a blowout card. In this pure version, when I was building, I was just like, when I was assembling it, I noticed that there were a lot of like trap cards and stuff like that. I was even considering making like maybe a control-based Blue Eyes deck. Maybe that's something for the future. I don't know. If you guys want to see that, let me know. I know a lot of decks that get like hit on the ban list or slow down over time, they end up turning into control decks, stuff like ABCs. I was actually considering that for Blue Eyes, but I don't know. Maybe it's something to think about for the future. But let's move on to the extra deck. First, we play Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon. Basically, this is one of your really good ways to get over monsters that are tough to get over, because when this card, first of all, it can attack 2 monsters, but when this card battles and the monster that it battles doesn't get destroyed, you get basically banish that monster, non-targeting. On top of that, this card is really easy to fusion summon, because you can either fusion summon it with one of the traditional ways, or you could just use 2 Blue Eyes on the field, which is really useful. 1 Neo Blue Eyes White Dragon. This card is decent if you're low on resources. That's really the main reason you play it. 1 copy of Blue Eyes Alternative Ultimate Dragon. And basically this card already is pretty good, but if you use an alternative dragon as material, this card gets like 10 times better. He gets to pop things. It's really good for that. This is a kind of a cool one. We play 1 copy of King Dragoon. A lot of you may not know, but the King of D actually counts as Lord of D on the field. And basically, Lord of D plus a monster called Divine Dragon Ragnarok, which is just a normal dragon from Flames of Eternity, from way back in the day, or I believe it's Flames of Eternity, but from a set a million years ago. You can fuse those 2 to make this King Dragoon thing, but basically King Dragoon makes it so your dragons can't be targeted, and on top of your dragons not being able to be targeted, it makes it so you could special summon a dragon, any dragon from your hand for free every single turn. So it's actually really good in the deck. And basically with for the Ragnarok card, you just substitute it with King of the Swamp. You don't always go into this play, but when you do, it's just like, it really is one of those plays that takes it over the top. It's really good for that. But yeah, I play 1 of that. 1 5-headed dragon, another really good card. This is something you use with Dragon's Mirror. You just attack for game, 5,000 attack. You don't have to worry about link zones anymore because of Master Rule 5. You just summon it anywhere. You don't have to worry about where am I going to put it. It's all good. 1 Fist of the Dragons, or First of the Dragon, I'm sorry. This card basically is any 2 normal monsters, or if you recall, a lot of Blue Eyes cards are obviously normal monsters. But what's so good about this card is that it's unaffected entirely by effect monsters, and it can't be destroyed by battle by an effect monster. Now, there are a lot of decks out there that basically spam a board of just monsters, and they don't really play spawn drop cards, so you can actually just summon this, put it in defense, and they can't get over it, and then they end up scooping, and it's fun. It's like a free win. But yeah, it's a very good card. Then we play the, technically that was a Super Poly target too, but now we play Super Poly targets, which is going to be Starving Venom, Mud Dragon of the Swamp, Diplexer Chimera, and those were all just sort of super poly targets. Next we play our synchros, which is going to be the Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, the Azure Eyes, the Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, and like, you know what, by now you probably know how most of those work. Spirit just summons these two, or you can go directly into that, but it's a little harder. Then we have our Link monsters, which is going to be the Relinquished Anima. This is basically a Link 1. You can use one of your stones, or you can use anything you want, but it turns one of your stones into a spellcaster, so Dragon Revival Rhapsody is always live, which is really, really cool. Then we play one Predaplant Verde Anaconda. This card basically, you can pay 2,000 life points and then send a polymerization or fusion spell from your deck to your graveyard. And then because of that, you can apply that effect, and you can't fusion summon for the rest of the turn, or you can't special summon for the rest of the turn. So what you can do is you can like polymerization, and then you can summon like one of your huge fusions, like the alternative Ultimate Dragon, and then for the rest of the turn you can't summon other than him. But it doesn't matter because you summon a huge monster, and then you can attack for game. And then we play one copy of Crystron Needlefber. This card is again a very good card. It's a tuner and any monster, and you can basically rip out any tuner from your deck, which is going to be one of the stones. Helps you basically just put resources on board. Helps you go into more synchros. But yeah, that's it. I'm actually pretty pleased with this deck. I've liked it a lot. I've been testing it. It's fun going first. It's fun going second. Like I said, if you want that, I've thought about making a Blue Eyes control deck, kind of like ABC's has turned into a control deck, and I've really considered it several times, because you can run a lot of strange and interesting floodgates like Skill Drain and like a few other cards. And the great benefit of Blue Eyes is that it can go so easily into really big monsters at the drop of a hat. And on top of being able to go into big monsters out of nowhere, Blue Eyes has the ability to draw cards very easily. So it draws well, and it has great draw power, and it has just a great ability to just summon big monsters out of nowhere, which a lot of decks actually don't have. And Blue Eyes definitely does have that ability. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in watching, and let me know if there's anything I can work on for this deck to make this fusion-based version of Blue Eyes a little more powerful. But anyways, thank you for watching, and enjoy your day, guys.